Welcome to Coder Station.
Hey guys, welcome back to Coder Station again. Today in this video, we are going to see what is dynamic memory allocation and we will explore how to efficiently manage memory in your C programs using this dynamic memory allocation functions. So first of all, we have to see what we have done in our previous video. So in our last video, we have seen what are pointers, its syntax, the need of pointers and its examples. So I recommend you to please watch our last video before continuing forward because pointers is an important concept in C. So you must first watch those videos before continuing today. So without wasting any time, let's see what we are going to see in our today's video. So today we are going to see what is dynamic memory allocation, what is static versus dynamic memory allocation, what are the functions and its examples. So let's begin with a brief introduction to memory allocation. In C, memory allocation is crucial for efficient program execution. It can be done either at compile time or runtime. Dynamic memory allocation allows programs to obtain memory during execution, offering flexibility and efficiency. So, dynamic memory allocation refers to memory that is allocated during the runtime. Okay, so now let's see what is the difference between static and dynamic memory allocation. So, there are two types of memory allocation, static and dynamic. Static memory allocation fixes the size at compile time. For example, declaring an array with integer array of 10 size. So this allocates memory for 10 integers at the compile time, that is before the execution of our program. Now, on the other hand, we have dynamic memory allocation. So dynamic memory allocation allows memory size to change at runtime. For example, int pointer of r is equal to malloc 10 into size of int. So this allocates memory for 10 integers at runtime. That is, once we have completed the execution, that is, once we have started the execution, not completed, once we start the execution, it allocates 10 integers at the runtime. So now let's move forward towards our next slide. So now we have the functions for dynamic memory allocation. C provides several functions for dynamic memory allocations. Let's discuss three important ones. The first one is malloc, second one is calloc, and the third one is free. So now first we will see the malloc function. The malloc function allocates a specified number of bytes and returns a pointer to the first byte of the allocated memory block. So its syntax is void malloc size underscore t size. So size underscore t size then is the number of bytes to allocate. Now in this example, int ptr is equal to int malloc of 5 into size of integer. So in this example, the malloc allocates memory for 5 integers. The size of int ensures the correct number of bytes is allocated to the variable. Now let's move forward. Next, we have the calloc function. The calloc allocates memory for an array of elements and initializes all the bytes to 0 and even returns a pointer to the first byte of the allocated memory block. Now let's see the syntax of calloc. It is void calloc of size underscore t num comma size underscore t size. So here size underscore t num is the number of elements to allocate, whereas the next, which is size underscore t size, is the size of each element. Now here in the below example, int ptr, that is the pointer variable, equals to integer malloc of 5 into size of the integer. In this example of calloc, here the calloc allocates and initializes memory for 5 integers. Like malloc, we should always check the calloc if it returns null. Finally, the free function. The free function deallocates the previously allocated memory block, making it available for future allocations. The syntax is very simple: void free, and in that we have the parameter void pointer ptr. So void pointer ptr is a pointer to the memory block which is to be freed. Here in the example, first we are writing the function which is free ptr followed by the ptr equals to null. So after freeing memory, it's a good practice to set the pointer to null to avoid dangling pointers. Now let's discuss some common mistakes and pitfalls in dynamic memory allocation. This includes memory leaks, dangling pointers, double free errors, and incorrect size calculations. So here we will have to watch the best practices which are to be followed while using the dynamic memory allocation concept in C. So we should first always check if the malloc or calloc function returns null. So for this we should always write a if statement, and it should always check whether it returns the null. Then the second one is the use of size of operator for portable code. And the third one is free memory when it's no longer needed. Fourth one is to set pointers to null after freeing the memory. So now we will have a look on the example of dynamic memory allocation. So now let's see the example on the dynamic memory allocation using C. So first we will have our two header files. The first one is stdio.h, which has basic standard input output functions such as printf and all. And the second one is standard library.h. This library is used to include to use the functions related to memory allocation. So this is the important header file we have got, which has the functions like malloc and free, as well as other general purpose functions. So now let's start with our main functions. So inside it we have the int pointer array which we have created, also along with another integer which is n equals to 5, which is we have assigned a 5 integer value to our variable. So this initializes an integer variable to 5 representing the number of elements to be allocated. Then here the malloc function allocates n times the size of an integer, that is the size of int, bytes of memory. Then the int asterisk, which is here, the int asterisk cast converts the void pointer returned by malloc to an integer pointer. So if the allocation is successful, the arr points to the first byte of the allocated memory. Then we have the if arr is equals to null. So this checks if the malloc returned null, indicating the memory allocation failed. So if the allocation fails, a message is to be printed and the program returns 1 to indicate an error. Okay. Then we have a for loop for assigning the values to the array. So this for loop initializes the allocated memory with values from 1 to n. So it assigns the value, that is I plus 1, to the ith element of the array. Then we will have another for loop which is used to display the values which are stored into the array. So the for loop prints the value stored in the allocated memory, and then this first statement, the first printf statement, prints each integer in the array followed by a space. Then you must be guessing what is the use of this \n. So this prints a new line character after all the elements are printed. That is, once this is printed, then we will go to the new line. Okay. Then we have the last, which is free arr, and arr equals to null. So here the free arr refers to that it frees the memory which is previously allocated by the malloc. And then, as we have stated in our slides, the arr equals to null sets the pointer to null after freeing the memory to avoid a dangling pointer. So that is a pointer that still points to the freed memory. So it is a best practice to follow. After using the free function, we have to assign the array to null. So basically, for giving summary of the program, this program dynamically allocates the memory for an array of integers. So it initializes the allocated memory with the values. It prints the values, it frees the allocated memory and sets the pointer to null to avoid potential issues. So this program uses malloc for memory allocation, checks for allocation failure, and uses free function to deallocate memory properly. So now let's execute this program and see what's the output. So after executing, you will see the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as the output. As here in this for loop, we are assigning the values like for the ith element till the ith element, because we have assigned n equals to 5, and this for loop will iterate until I is less than 5. So it initially starts with 0, therefore it will store that is it goes on from 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay, and in this for loop, this will print the value stored into the array. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you are enjoying this C programming web series. We will meet in the next video. Till then, stay tuned.